My husband constantly for 3 years sought somebody to take this church because it is a tremendous church. A lot of money comes to this church and it had to be the right person. And you know, when we started the work, you have to decide that this is God's work and not your work. So we wanted somebody that would have that same vision. He called Brother Hargrove and he said, well, have you ever considered Kevin Schindall? And he said, you know, I haven't. He said, is he willing to move from Indiana? And he said, well, you just need to search it out. So Brother McGahey called Brother Schindall, and he didn't tell the church what he was doing. He just called to have him preach at the church, just to get them acquainted with him. And he did a great job, and they went home. And then after he went home, Brother McGahey told the church that he had come to the place where he couldn't take care of him anymore, and he was trying to find somebody, and that he felt like they needed to have a say in what was going on. So we had a vote, and he brought in Brother Kevin Schindall, but it was 99%. And so one of the little girls said, my mama didn't vote on you. And so later she said, it wasn't that I didn't like Brother Schindall, it's just I didn't want Brother McGahey going away. So that's how it all began in 2010.
I remember my parents going to Texas to preach, and my grandparents watching me for a week, and I had no idea why they were down there. And then they came back and they said, we're moving. Or really what they said, we're gonna tell everyone we're moving tonight, and we want you to know before we tell the whole church, is how I found out. I was very sad to leave all my friends and go to a new place. But when we came here, everybody was so kind to us. Brother McGahey and Sister McGahey made it feel like home. They felt like having a third set of grandparents. It felt like home. One thing I would say to the McGaheys during the transition is that I'm so grateful they made it so easy. They loved us, they encouraged us. I was a 9-year-old who was scared, who didn't have any friends here. I was leaving everything I knew, and we just drove 15 hours and moved somewhere new, and they made it easy. They made it easy to love the church. They encouraged the church to love us. I never felt out of place with them.
Something I remember from the very beginning is when we first stepped into Way of Life, it was just so many friendly people, and everybody was so kind, and everybody made the transition super, super easy on us. In fact, the McGaheys made it incredibly easy on me and my sister and my parents. Brother McGahey just, he just said, take over. And it was so easy from that point on. Our son has the hiccups. And he can sing. But the McGaheys were so amazing and so wonderful. And there's so many memories from that early time with them and the transition, but we're just so thankful for them and all that they put into this church.
I give honor to you today, and I give honor to Way of Life for the way they treat you guys. And they have supported you, and the church there has just been marvelous. You guys have weathered, literally, some storms, but you're resilient, you have tenacity and strength from God. And today I want to say how much I love the Schindalls. Schindalls have been an integral part of my life and an integral part of North Cities as well as the North Texas District. They're both very gifted, talented, skilled, and anointed.
Pastor and Sister Schindall are wonderful examples of what it means to be committed to the work of the kingdom. They lead by example, and they hold themselves to the highest standard in everything they do. I remember when they first came, they had to live in the evangelist quarters for several months. They did it with no complaints, just got in there and came in and started working. They have personally been a great source of strength to me through the years of Brother Tollison's illness and eventual death. I knew I could call upon them any time for prayer, and I had to do it several times, and anything else we needed. I also appreciate their love for the truth and the beautiful teaching that they give us here at Way of Life. I pray God blesses them and their family in great and mighty ways.
Brother and Sister Shindal, thank you for inspiring me to live out my own ministry here in Jackson with my husband. I appreciate you both for walking humbly and caring for others and being present. I appreciate you both so very much. And Sister Shindal, I want to say thank you to you for encouraging me and supporting me in my own career and social work journey. I love you both, and we miss Way of Life so much.
The Shindals have helped me grow in my faith and walk with God, because through both the challenging and the joyful seasons, they were a reflection of God's love. They listened to me without judgments, they encouraged me to grow, and they prayed for me faithfully.
I would say some qualities that make the Shindals strong leaders is that they realize that they are standing on the shoulders of leaders who have come before them, that they are building on a foundation that they did not set that foundation, but they are building on it. And they are continuing in the path that has been set before them. And I really appreciate that they honor the leaders that have come before them, that they hold them in high regard, and they don't just treat them as a thing of the past, but they recognize the contribution that those leaders have put into what we have today. And them being on the shoulders of those who have come before them is not a pedestal for them or just a place of prominence, but it's a position for them to be able to build the next generation of leaders that's coming up. They're not just sitting up there, they're pulling more leaders on top of their shoulders. And I'm so thankful that we had the opportunity to learn and grow.
Yes, he is by far my favorite pastor to listen to. And I do appreciate his wisdom and everything that he's done for us throughout the years. He's been around as long as our oldest son has been around. And so I think that may be one of their first memories is Jaron walking across the back, me holding him walking across the back of the church or something. But I do appreciate their wisdom and all that they poured into us, all of the blessings that they've given us spiritually and financially, the support.
One word to describe them would be
excellency.
Everything that they do is in excellence.
Yes.
Everything from the church sanctuary to all that they do, caring for people and loving people. We love that about the Shindals.
Yes. I mean, from the moment you walk in to the church, in the foyer, all the way through the sanctuary, the lighting, every corner is just, every sign, everything shows their excellency in what they do. And we just love that about them. They've set the bar high.
Yes.
For us to be similar to them or want to be like them.
So one word that we would choose to describe the Shindals is
consistent. We're thankful for your consistent godly character before us. As our pastor and pastor's wife, we're thankful for your godly example always.
Amen. And personally, how you're there for us.
I'm thankful for, Pastor, all the wisdom you give us when we need godly counsel and we need a good word from the Lord. You're always available, and we just can't thank you enough for it.
Amen.
One thing that's been it's been very special for our family and how the Shindals have blessed us is by taking us and taking our church and really adopting us. And I know we're a church plant that is out of Way of Life, but I have always felt that Brother Shindal has gone out of his way to give us a place to call home, and he always makes a point of inviting us to the Ministry Connect services. They have been praying for us basically since we started, and I cannot tell you how much of a joy it is to know that we have someone like the Shindals who are on our side and who are pulling for us.
On first interaction with the Shindals, we have gone to the church because there was an event taking place there. You know, every year it seemed like Brother McGee always had a program going on to the church and we wanted to see. This time, however, when we got there, we met the Shindal, he came, shook my hand, and then not long the wife came, shook my hand, and we started talking. And they invited us to come. So while we're driving away, Kim and I started talking, looking at each other. And yes, it looked like we'll come back and visit. Since then, we have visited back over and over. And we don't ever want to forget why I brought up in the first place that church. We need to pick up our boys, wanted them to have truth. And I can say from the bottom of my heart, almost 14 years ago, we came there. Brother Shindal, you are not disappointed, and we thank you for everything.
The one word I would use to describe the Shindals would be genuine. The Shindals portrayed a realness that I so greatly appreciate. And it's authentic because it has not wavered from the first time we met them to this point. So I would like to say, Pastor Shindal, Sister Shindal, thank you so much for your leadership and your commitment to the ministry that the Lord has called you to. We love you so much. Thank you.
It will be amazing if every member of the church can see how much effort, how much love they put in our life. They put in everybody.
I wish people knew truly how much they care about the church and about every family in the church. They genuinely do care, and they love every person that walks in the doors. And sometimes Sundays can be so busy and church days can be so busy that we may not be able to interact with them personally or see exactly that care. But as we had stepped in a role of also pastoring a daughter work, it really brought a new light to how much they truly have on their shoulders and how much they invest in all of us and how much they love each and every one of us that are a part of the church.
It's wonder why I can't hear. Okay. I hereby solemnly promise that after this fellowship hall and kitchen project is done, there will be no more remodel in the year of 2017.
My favorite funny memory with Dad at the church is when he was talking about how he likes to play with Sherlock at home and how he is the player in the family, but in a fun way.
And I'm the player in the family, not in a bad way, in a fun way.
That's my favorite. And then for my mom, my favorite memory, Brother Will was preaching a message while my dad was out of town. And he told everyone in the church to go up to my mom and tell her, "You're my lady." And so that is my favorite funny memory.
I just know many times we were sitting around the table having dinner, and my son thinks that he's also the star of the show, singing and humming.
Hey Mama Bear and Papa Bear, we love y'all so much. We want to thank you for everything y'all have done for us. Thank you for loving us and supporting us. And we wanted to say that we love you so much and we're so thankful for y'all.
One of the funniest moments that I think Brother Chanel and I share, we go to it often. As many of you know, Brother Shindal loves early mornings. And if you ever want to schedule a meeting with him, ask for his time very, very early in the morning. One of these mornings happened to may or may not have occurred on a golf course. And in the process of putting our clubs in the car and getting ready to play, I don't think anybody had spoken a word. And we were going up the hill to the first tee box, and I remember the distinct sound of our golf cart straining to get up the hill. It was more of a whine, almost at the load that it was having to bear. And my loving, considerate, kind morning pastor just looks over at me, and the first words that he spoke that morning to me were, "Brother, I don't think we're going to make it. I don't think we're going to make it."
They've always been people that have united. They've not been dividers. In local challenges in family and extended family, they've always made sure to unite people together.
Absolutely. Disunity has never been an option with the Shindals. A lack of love has never been an option. They have always shown up at the doorstep. They've always resolved the conflict. They've always forgiven and chosen love. And I think that has carried through to my ministry as well, because through all of my mistakes and the times that I have failed, the times that I remember making the wrong call, not using wise, sound judgment, I distinctly remember the Shindals giving me a safe place to fall and to fail. And their sensitivity to the voice and the timing of God has just been second to none. I've seen them release when it hurt. I've seen them let go when it did not benefit. And I have taken away from that something that Brother Shindal has always taught, and that is an open hand policy. You can serve God with a closed hand, but you'll never get what God truly wants to give you. And you may serve God with an open hand, and He may take a few things, but you will also reap in abundance the gifts and the blessings of God that He wants to give you. And that has changed my life completely, and I appreciate that.
The Shindals have been a perfect person. They were the person. I watched my husband travail over this. They are the person, and they fit the bill. They have the same vision. My husband's vision was missions, and Brother Shindal, his vision is missions. There are some things that they're not alike, but most everything they're alike on. So I love them for that. I feel like part of them still here through Brother Shindal.